We are in the middle of Perek Daled in Pirkei Avos Mishnah Chaf Aleph, talking about how Rabbi HaKapar says the Kina, Taiva, and Kavod are Moitziin Es Adam Min Ha'olam. Kina will define as jealousy, Taiva is desire, Kavod is honor. These three things take a person out of the world. Okay. So we were actually in the middle of this Mishnah. Last week we saw that the Rabbeinu Yona, I think we saw the first half. He divides kina into six different types of kina, of jealousy. So the first one is a person just does not want to see other people who have chachma, who are religious. It bothers him. He's called a soine Hashem. He hates HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He just does not want to see anyone being from keeping the Torah. That's the first kina. That's the worst type of kina. The second type of kina is he doesn't mind, but you just can't be firmer than he is. Right? Many people, it bothers them if someone else is firmer than they are. So we discussed last week a couple of examples of that. That's also bad. And then the third kina is he sees people who are firmer than him. He sees people, when I say firmer, I mean people are doing the right thing that he should be doing. You know, not just because people have chumras, it doesn't mean that they're better. It doesn't mean that a person should, try to be like them. But talking about a person, when you see people who are actually doing the right thing, they're being kaveit in the Torah, they're meticulous in the Kim HaMitzvahs, and I'm not, so there's a certain kin a person has of that. So the third type, which is the best, I guess, of the evils, we'll call it, but Rabbeinu himself says, if you have this, it's fine, it's okay to have this one. And that as a person uses that as a motivator. So I see other people, what they're doing, and I'm jealous of that. Not that I don't want them to have it. Right? The second type of kina is, I don't want them to be better than me. So rather than improving myself, I'm going to bring them down. Right? So that's a very negative form of kina. Here, the third type of kina, which is not that bad, is it's going to motivate me to be like them. Ideally, the only kina I should have is just me and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm jealous of, I want to have Yira Shemayim. I'm not looking at anyone else, just myself. But if a person is going to look at others and say, wow, Bein Hazmanim, when there's no yeshiva, they're learning from 9 to 2:15, and davening at 2:15 mincha, and then coming home at 2:45 and starting the day. I'm jealous. I'm going to do that myself. That's not the worst kina. That I guess it's like we'd say mitoich shaloi lishma ba lishma. When it comes to Talmud Torah, a person has to learn the Shema, the Shem Shemayim. But if he's learning for other reasons, we say mitoich shaloi lishma ba lishma. Except, as it says, except if he's learning l'kanta, to fight. He's learning for kavod. So we're hoping that eventually that will come for L'Shem Shemayim. So those are the three kinas that the Rabbeinu Yona discusses, the first type of kina. That's the derech ha'echad, where he's mekana b'toiva. Right? He's jealous of people doing good things. And those are the three levels. It's an objective jealousy, I don't want them to have it. It's a subjective jealousy, I don't want them to be better than me. And then there's the second type of subjective jealousy that I want to be as good as them. Right? The second type is I don't want them better than I am. I have no desire to better myself. I don't want them to be better than me. And the third one is I see them as being better than I am, and I'm jealous of that, and that motivates me to rise up to their level. That Rabbeinu Yona says, if you have that, go with it. But ideally, it should be the motivation to keep Torah mitzvahs should be just one's own motivation, not dependent on what he sees in other people. So now we go to this Haderech HaShenis. In the middle of this Rabbeinu Yona, Haderech HaShenis. Kinas HaOisher. It's interesting, right? The second type of kina is called Kinas HaOisher, jealousy of wealth. So it's just interesting that Rabbeinu Yona has, jealous could be of anything, right? It could be a person could be jealous of a relationship, let's say a parent and a child, right? That if one is jealous of how well they get, or how well siblings get along. But in Rabbeinu Yona, the two jealousies are, although maybe we can fit everything into these two categories. I'm jealous of good, we'll call them morals or character traits or lifestyle. It's like a philosophical jealousy. I'm jealous of good that I see in others. And the second is a physical jealousy. I'm jealous of a person's wealth. And I guess we could add to that maybe a person's abilities. What a beautiful artist. I wish I could draw like they can. But that's how the Rabbeinu Yona breaks it down. So derech hashen is the second derech. Kinas ha'oisher. Okay, jealousy of wealth. It bothers someone that others have wealth, and he doesn't. This is the worst one. This person hates the good that other creatures have, other humans have. He does not want what's called tikkun ha'olam. He does not want the world to improve upon itself and build upon itself. And we know wealth is a tremendous motivating force in a person for creativity, in order to, I'm sure part of the race to find the vaccine for COVID-19 definitely is a financial incentive. Besides COVID, there's a financial incentive involved. If that financial incentive wouldn't be there, you'd have far fewer pharmaceutical companies trying to get it. So a person who's jealous of others' wealth and does not want them to have it, so that this person does not want tikkun ha'olam. That's pretty bad. The second type of jealousy, he's jealous of his friends who are wealthy. And it bothers him when they're wealthier than he is. Not that he hates them. Not the pshat that he hates those people and he wants their wealth to diminish. Rather, he just has a desire to be the richest guy in town. So it's not that, again, we had the same thing before. It's not that my jealousy leads me to want you to do less. My jealousy is leading me to want me to do more. In this person's eyes, wealth equals honor. And he wants to be more honored than they are. I guess that's what he's saying. At the root of the desire for wealth is really honor, is what he's saying. I guess once a person has his needs taken care of, so why does he want wealth beyond more than he can ever spend? That's for honor. That's the second type of jealousy of wealth. The third type, inyan shlishi, hu hatoiv shebaroim. It's the best, the lesser of the evils, the best of the bad. Oiv kesef u'makana v'chavit shia lo oisha gadol. He loves money. Forget anyone else. He doesn't know anyone else. He lives by himself. There's no clue anyone else has. He wants to have wealth. This jealousy is not directed, or doesn't start from an observation of others. This jealousy is he himself has a desire for something. He doesn't have the same burning desire to be wealthy than other people. So it's not so bad. I mean, it's more like taiva. Again, this Mishnah says, kinna taiva and covered, take a person out of the world. We're going to see how Rabbeinu defines taiva, and we're going to try to figure out what's the difference between kinna and taiva. Now, we translate those two words as jealousy and desire. But here, so normally you would say that jealousy is always directed towards someone else. I mean, if I have no point of reference, then I'll never be jealous. If I grow up by myself, I don't see anyone, so there's no jealousy, because there's no other person that I am defining, that I'm trying to be like, or trying to bring down. To me, jealousy usually, it presupposes there's me and there's another entity, and there's a disparity, and I don't like that. So either I want to bring them to me, or I want to bring me to them. Those are the two options. Here, in the sixth type of kinna, is a kinna of wealth. There's no one else in the equation. Just the person himself desires money. And Shlomo Melech in Mishlei, in Paragraph Gil Pasuk Yud Zayin, he brought this all together and he said, Al yikane libcha b'chatoim, your heart should not be jealous of sins. Only with fear of Hashem the whole day. Parat tchila hakina hara, shloikana b'rishoim oisei averis lasos k'mais. And he starts up by saying a bad jealousy, a negative jealousy. Don't be jealous of the rishoim who are being prosperous. Then he said, rather only with fear of Hashem. All kinna is bad, except for kinna of fear of Hashem. A person has kinna towards Maaseh Hashem because they are great. So there's clearly a kinna that has no connection to anything else. And as we're discussing this, comes to mind the famous Maaseh of Kinna in the Torah, which is with Pinchas. The Kana is Kinasi, coming up in a few weeks. The end of Parshas Pinchas, beginning of Parshas Pinchas. So it's in the Balak. It's interesting that there was no person that he was jealous of. But he didn't want to be like anyone. It wasn't like there was a point, there was a disparity between him and someone else, and he wanted to equalize them. What was bothering him was there was a chil Hashem, and he was mekana for Hashem. So his kinna is a certain drive to correct something that's not fair, that a person that perceives as not being fair, not being just. So I have a burning desire to correct an injustice. That's kinna. So the injustice is that Reuven has more money than I have. The injustice is that Reuven is a bigger tzaddik than I am. That's injustice in my mind. I want to correct that. Pinchas saw an injustice in the world. And he was a kanoi, and he tried to get rid of that injustice, tried to rectify that. So that's also kinna. Taiva is the second thing. Zokt the Rabbeinu Yona. Taiva hitchilas kol ha'peulos ha'rois v'amaisa. Zokt the Rabbeinu Yona, that desire is the beginning of all bad actions. Or is peulos ha'rois v'amaisa. I'm not sure. A peula is an action. A maisa is an action. I'm not sure what he's adding. He could have just said it's the beginning of all peulos ha'rois, all bad actions. V'hamaisim. I'm not sure what that hamaisim is coming to add. The gam kredemis l'machshava. Very interesting, right? Before the thought is the desire. Because after there's a desire, then he thinks about doing it. So a person's desires are going to cause him to think in a certain way. My brother-in-law, Rabbi Avos, he's been here a few times. He once made a diuk. I've had a chumash. He made a diuk back in Parshas Bereishis, which brings out this point of the desire coming before the thought. So it comes here by the mice of the Nachash in Perek Gimel. Okay, so the Nachash says to the Isha Pasuk Dalid, "You're not going to die if you touch it." So, and he tells her, "Yodei Hashem knows ki b'yoyim acholchem mimenu." When you eat from the Eitz Hadas, v'nifkuch einechem, your eyes are going to open up. So he gives her a very strong svara about what Hashem is trying to hide from you. Hashem is trying to stop you guys from reaching your potential. Hashem is trying to stop you from being like him, knowing good and bad. Right? So therefore now he's planting a seed, no more than planting a seed. He's giving her a desire for the tree, an intellectual, we'll call it kinna, let's say. Here's actually, we can define this as kinna. Next pasuk, Vatera ishiki toiva eitz the Michael. All of a sudden, then she sees that the apple, whatever the wheat, the grape, whatever the different shitas are, what the Eitz Hadas was, what is very desirable. That it's very, there's a desire in her eyes for it. The nechmana Eitz Haskil, and it's good to become a wise person through eating from the Eitz Hadas Toivara. So, Freck, Rav Tzvi Abramov, that pasuk vav should have come earlier. Didn't she see the delicious fruit before the Nachash had his whole shtickle Torah about why Hashem is keeping it away from them? Elamai, first he told her, this is what you gain from it. So then she has a desire for it. Once she has that desire for it, so then she realizes, wow, I want to go and get that. That looks really good. But first she has to have that thought. So the Rabbeinu is saying, you don't just, our thoughts are flavored by our desires. To the point that one might argue, and the Musas Farm do say this, we think that when we go out for the steak dinner, which I'm not saying is a wrong thing, it's a great thing to do sometimes, we think that it's our bechira chavshis, it's our free will. The Bali Musar are much more conservative in their application of when we use our free will. It could be that my desire is pushing me to that. When I want to take a nap, when I want to go to bed early, wake up late, is that my free will? Or is that my desire that is causing me to have that machshava? So the Rabbeinu is saying that before a thought is the desire. It's like the subconscious motivation for what a person is trying to do. With all taiva, there's a lot of bad. Of course, we're talking about doing averis. The desire to do averis is a horrible thing. Even a person has a desire to do things that are mutter, it's also bad. again, in Yiddishkeit, right, everything is balanced. There are very few things that are asr. Food is mutter, but at a certain time, in a certain place, in a certain way to eat it. Women are mutter, but at a certain time, in a certain place. You shouldn't give women your strength. In other words, a person should calm down. Same thing with desire for food and drink and other luxuries. It's also bad. Even the lighter foods, if one eats a lot of them, it's bad for a person's health. That's the Gemara says in Pesachim. One should not be margil himself, should make himself accustomed to eating geese, like good, delicious foods, fatty foods. There are three paths, bad paths when it comes to desires, when it comes to taiva. Just like by kinna. Harishon, hamis'avish lo yeh oishev v'chachma l'shum adam, v'sheyu loy v'hu avan asher chet. A person has a desire that no one else has wealth or chachma besides him. Now, for me, the lines of kinna and taiva are becoming blurred. The Rabbeinu is saying that taiva is, I desire no one else should have wealth and chachma. And it should be mine. Okay? Number two, I'm mis'ava for oisher and chachma. I want wealth and chachma. If others have it, I'm also okay with it. But I want to have more than them. I want to be greater than them. It's also ra'a rabba, very evil. The shlishi has the yesh ba toiv ma'at. The third aspect of taiva is okay, a little bit good. He sees his friends have chachma and oisher. He wants to be like them. They can have as much as I have. I just want to have as much as them. He'll bless, he'll daven for himself and others when it comes to his taiva, the wealth, because he wants them all to be like that. That's not the best midah, but it's not so bad, he says. The taiva ra'uya, the proper taiva is a person desires. In other words, everything we do is based on a desire. So the kunz is to have a desire for chachmas Hashem, for yiras Hashem. Let me play davar acher, to do the right thing, because that's what Hashem wants. Hashem negdecha kol tavasi. All my desires are for you, says the Rabbeinu Yona. And we find also when Rabbi Nasi died, he raised his 10 fingers and he said, it's revealed to you, Hashem, that even in Etzbuk Tana, I did not benefit, I did not derive pleasure from this world, even one small finger, even though Rabbi Nasi was a very wealthy man. Even though they say he was an Asher Gadol, still he channeled all his desire for Hashem. So again, we come now to try to define what's the difference between taiva and kinna. Especially now that he's saying, the Rabbeinu Yona, there are three types of taiva, and the first two are, it seems like the same thing as kinna. Either I don't want him to be smarter or wealthier, so I want to take away his wealth, or number two, I want to be like him. I want to increase my own. So in the Orchos Tzadikim, he says that kinna is an anaf min hakas. Kinna, jealousy, is a branch of anger. I mean, anger is like the base midah, character trait, and jealousy comes from anger, which we could definitely hear. Definitely going back to the Maisa with Pinchas, there was an anger there. It was a positive. A person feels heated up. There's anger comes, again, when I see something that's not going my way, and I feel like I have to make it go my way. That's where anger comes from. This person makes an assumption, this is how it has to be, and when it's not like that, he gets angry. So kinna is like that. But taiva is not an anger thing. The person says taiva is nashim. He's not angry. It's not an anger. Anger usually is directed towards other people or towards oneself. But so before the Rabbeinu I would have said taiva is just pure desire, and kinna is more of an intellectual desire that relates to anger. But here it seems to be getting thrown together a little bit. So maybe we'll hold here for now, and next week we'll try to clarify the Rabbeinu Yona's view of kinna and his view of taiva. We'll continue with the Mishnah with COVID next week. As Hashem.
Thank you.
You know.